human behavior is very complex. It has all kinds of things. We're certainly not going to, economics is certainly not about passion. There's a famous line from the great economist Alfred Marshall, 19th century economist, that economics is about the ordinary business of life. So it's not about the grand passions. It's about, deciding what kind of sandwich you're going to order. It's about deciding where to open a business. It can take on anything that is within that range. Mostly economics is about things where people are relatively rational. It doesn't have to be, because not everything in the economic field is rational. But it's a set of methods, and I'm not in the academic world we talk about academic imperialists. There are economists who think that you can use economic analysis to explain everything, and I'm not one of them. You certainly have to try. I mean, if it's, again, there are some people who think, well, if you can't quite model it using supply and demand, then you have to pretend it doesn't exist. Actually, one of the big themes of my book, Conscience of a Liberal, is that things like norms, institutions, make a very big difference. So even if you don't have an extremely rigorous way of representing them, it's actually clear that they make an enormous difference. The changes in American society in what we expect, what we consider appropriate in, let's say, the way corporate management is paid, have been as important as any of the standard forces of supply and demand. If you say something is true in practice but not in theory, that really means there's something wrong with your theory. Right? If it's your theory ought to be able to encompass that. Now, what is true is that you have simple models, and sometimes they're wrong. So, there's so many places where Econ 101 doesn't work. There are many places where it does. Econ 101 tells you that if you put a price control on rental units, you're going to have a housing shortage, and that's right. But Econ 101 might suggest to you that if you deregulate electricity in California, it's going to be just fine. But if you go a little bit beyond Economics 101, you can see that you actually have created an incentive for producers to game the market, and you're going to get something like the crisis that actually happened.